What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Revolving RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic War of Nova video for you today. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some PvP builds from Server 2. PvP officially kicked off in the last 24 hours. As you can see here, I am ranked 2 on the server for PvP, and Locos, with the Terra faction, is actually rank 1. And this guy, as well as Enzia, I want to give them both shout-outs. They've both been great opponents. And also shout out to Dobie, who's been up here fighting them right next to me this whole time. In fact, he's been fighting them before I even logged back in to Server 2 for some combat. So in today's video, we're covering an interesting PvP build that I hadn't really thought of. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, get excited, and here we go. I'm going to start by showing you first that I'm currently marching 3 of my armies back to the battlefront in the next 25 minutes because they lost some fights while I was sleeping. 3 hours ago, when I was deep in my sleep, I died to Locos. I didn't just lose to Locos, he obliterated my Sunder build, my level 46 Sunder, which is my primary combat PvP ship on this server. I have 4 different PvP fighting ships that I'll be covering in future videos. Today's video is talking about Locos' build for the Moonviel. The Moonviel is a really interesting ship. It does a lot of great things, and one of the most important things that it does is it works well against high defense enemy ships in sort of a bunker buster methodology. We'll take a look at the build he's running in a second. First, let me just walk you through very high level my Sunder build. This is the PvP build I'm running. I'm running with a crazy amount of power. I have lots of power items. I'm using a counter shot, okay, and I'm using very tanky Arcos Seraph units that take a lot of reduced. First of all, they have great defense for being light units, and they take a ton of reduced damage from long range, so they're very tanky. They pair well with the Sunder's ability to reduce all Arcos damage received by another 15%. And then we're stacking a little bit of healing here, right? 10 points into Sunder's healing skill with Unholy Bargain. And the rest of the points I have for Sunder are in damage trees, okay? I'm doing damage. I'm going to use this 461 power to do damage. That's my main goal. As you can see in this fight, I did not kill a whole lot of his troops, and it can definitely be pointed out that half of his troops are very squishy harpies that have low defense and HP. When we actually look at the summary here, you can see that I did decent damage with my Sunder, but my damage was nowhere near as high as the Moonviel's. And I'm running a really strong build on the Sunder. I have whooped 7 or 8 PvP armies from some of these other folks without taking any losses, or with only taking 5 or 6 losses. So the Sunder build has been doing a great job. But I really wanted to talk about this morning this Moonviel build because it did such a good job defeating my Sunder. And look at the damage output. First off, the ship did more than double the damage of my Sunder. Let's just point that out first, okay? Against a single target. I have single target units with very high defense here with a lot of damage mitigation skills. So this guy was able to bust through my high defense light units that take a lot of reduced damage. In addition, his range units, my units are anti-ranged. His ranged units were able to deal so much damage, they almost outdamaged his main ship. And again, I am running an anti-ranged build. Finally, if we look at the amount of healing that this mother effer did, he did almost 100,000 healing with this ship. So I really want to take a look at this guy's build and show you why he was able to crush through my very tanky, very high damage output Sunder setup, okay? Because against all the other PvP opponents I faced yesterday, I massacred all of them, no problem. Sunder didn't blink an eye. But against this dude's Moonviel, and I beat some of his other ships, his Aegis, some of his other ships got massacred. I whooped him. But he came in with the Moonviel, and he humbled the Sunder, okay? Why did that happen? Well, let's start by looking at the skills he's got. Laser turrets. This is a crazy skill because this allows him to deal energy damage and radiation damage with his basic attacks. All right, this is really, really important because this is going to allow him to bypass some of the high defense units that I am running. This is a really big deal. This is a single target bunker buster setup where everybody he attacks is going to take 75% of the damage as energy damage, okay? Bonus. And then the normal attack itself is radiation damage. That's two different types of elemental damage that this guy is doing with his attacks. His total damage output for his standard attacks is going to be 175%, and it's going to be purely elemental instead of standard. That's such a big deal, okay? In addition to that, he has a beautiful heal here that does a big nuke. This is a massive nuke. This is going to hit 2 targets 4 times. That is 600% damage per turn 4 times. 6 times 4 is 2,400 damage. This may be the highest or one of the highest damage skills in the game that is a 10-point sub-skill and not a main 15-point skill. This is a 10-point sub-skill. It may be the highest value per point damage skill that I've seen in this game to date. And if that wasn't enough, it has a massive amount of healing that happens as well. This is the purple ship, guys. I want you to think about that. We are talking about 2 meta-level skills here. We have a bunker buster skill and a skill that does crazy, crazy damage with crazy amounts of healing. For a total of 25 points. If you don't have to put any other skills on this ship and you might have beat the Sunder. 25 points gets you a crazy amount of damage, a crazy amount of damage, a crazy amount of healing, and really, really interesting mechanics because you're switching to elemental damage instead of standard damage, okay? You got additional points over here in Radiation Syndrome, anti-heal. As we can see in this game, healing is a really big deal. Every ship that does a lot of healing is really hard to kill in PvP, like my Sunder, like this guy's Moonviel. This ship not only does crazy damage and healing, but it has an anti-heal. What? That's just one tree. If you had to only spend 35 points and you just decided, I'm not going to spend a single other skill point on this ship, it would probably win a lot of fights. Then we get to the healing tree here. Redirect. This is a chance to recover HP when you receive a standard attack. Instead of when you deal damage, as we see with the Sunder and the Dark Fang, this allows you to heal when you receive damage. This is even better than that. So this is really interesting. I really like this. He's got some other healing skills here. 1 point allows you to recover 30% HP in round 3. I don't know if you need a point in there. You have a chance to recover HP with a high chance to trigger it twice with an Eldarin's Blessing. So we're looking at 4 healing skills that he's running. He's got this healing skill, which is the most disgusting healing skill in the history of healing skills. 600% HP healed for 4 rounds. 2,400% HP healing from that skill. And then you have all this other crazy stuff. If we look at some of the other trees, yes, you can get initiative and defense. You can get some debuffs here. Honestly, I would probably put 1 point in lose-lose and just throw some madness into the mix. Madness is always great. I don't really care about trade partners. The R5 tree here boosts your damage additionally by 15%. By 25%. You end up with some reduced damage received here. And if you didn't have enough healing yet, here's a 5th healing skill on this ship. So I don't think you need the R5 tree. I think he's running the best bet. At respect, guys, I don't think you understand. At respect level 0, you can run this build. You don't have to even be respect 1. At respect level 0, mastery level 0, you can run these 2 trees, which have some of the most disgusting combinations of damage and healing I've ever seen in the game, including the bunker-busting, purely elemental damage nukes from every single standard attack he makes. Now that I've walked you through how the build works, let's look at the report, let's look at the details, and watch how I got humbled. Let's see the humbling in process, okay? Let's look at the report. All right, round 1, he did 5,800 damage. I just want to... Oh, my God, round 2, he did like 17,000 damage with his Moonveil. Let's look at this round. This looks like a good one. All right. Oh, my God, here's the basic attack. These are freaking laser turrets, bro. Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God. First, he hits me with the laser turrets and does the radiation damage, right? Because normal attacks do radiation damage. Then he does a bonus 75% damage as energy, okay? Why not? So he's doing like almost 9,000 damage, just under 9,000 damage with his auto attack. It's penetrating my defense because it's an energy weapon, okay? It is an elemental type damage. Then he just comes, why not? He comes in with search and seizure, more elemental damage, and I don't think it's specified in here that it's elemental damage, but if you look at the damage output that happened, this was elemental damage. So he peened me. He ripped my face off with this frickin' skill. I only had, and keep in mind, I only have 1 unit, so I'm cutting his damage from this skill in half. He's only hitting 1 target instead of 2. He's only getting half the healing from this skill. He should be getting... I guess he did heal 2 units. He's only doing half the damage, so there you go. But that is a lot of frickin' damage, guys. Let's go look what other rounds that he ripped my face off. 12k there. Jesus Christ, another 21k here. Let's look at this round. Here we go again. Another almost 9,000 damage output from his auto attack. Seizure, another 9,000 damage. Look at the crazy healing he did on the Harpy. Look at this. He did 13,000 healing with this skill on the Harpy. This ship is god level. It's a purple ship, guys. It's not even legendary. It's purple. And Sunder's out here trying to... I'm hitting for 5k. My Sunder's stacked. You saw it. I have some pretty strong gear. I'm running a high damage build. I whoop everybody else I fight. This dude just coming in hot. No problem. He's like, I don't give a shit. Oh my gosh. Here's the anti-heal blocking my healing. Oh my god. I mean, I'm taking almost no damage from his harpies here. I'm really mitigating their damage output, which is great. And I have a 50% defense debuff against me. Here's more healing block. God, dude. What a crazy fight. So, look, I don't need to show you every round in this frickin' thing. What I can tell you is the damage and the performance from this ship. Here's another 20k damage round. The damage and the performance from this ship is incredible. Oh, there's some notifications on pricing today. Yeah, the damage is incredible. So if you guys are wondering what the best ships for PvP are, I can tell you because I came to the battlefront yesterday with several legendaries and several non-legendary ships. I had Sunder, Darkfang, Astaroth on the front line. Corruptor's moving to the front line soon. This is going to be my anti-heal ship with Fearing. Does a decent amount of self-heal. Still not as much as that other ship. And then it cuts all enemy healing off at round 4. Like, we're going to move in, and I think that the Corruptor might be able to counter this guy's damage. Might be able to counter him, and maybe even beat that Moonviel. But right now, the Moonveil is destroying my my other 3 setups, the Sunder, the Darkfang, and the Astaroth. Okay? So, if you guys have enjoyed today's video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Shout out to the Terror faction who we are fighting right now. We are trying to capture this city from them. Grueling PvP, a lot of back and forth tile taking. I had multiple forts along the border of this city when I went to sleep. They have pushed us back significantly. They deleted like 20 of our forts. They pushed us back. I'm back to my backup fort that I have set up here. It's a good thing I set it up. And we're upgrading that. And then we have an Alliance Outpost Bastion up here for the guild to port in. So, alright folks, like and subscribe. Happy Friday. Shout out to the Moonveil. Check it out for yourself. Randy, out.